So you're planning your next trip and you want to capture the moments and the memories by filming your experience. You want to create a masterpiece to share with your family and your friends or your followers on YouTube or Instagram. You may not even want to post your masterpiece on social media. You may just want a video for you and your family to relive at any time. Whether you're a beginner or a pro filmmaker, video and audio technology has never been more user-friendly. High-quality professional results are easier and more affordable. We now have access to affordable cinema-quality cameras, and of course, that camera that you carry with you all the time, your smartphone. With some of today's cameras having excellent autofocus and new AI tracking, you can capture perfect subject shots. Also, with audio being equally important as your video, the new wired and wireless microphone options can help make your audio crystal clear. Some of the latest microphone systems also have ambient noise reduction built right in, so a person's voice is easy to understand, even in noisy environments. But we're getting ahead of ourselves here. Packing your clothes and your essentials for a vacation can be stressful enough, but you plan what you need to bring based on your travel days and the climate at your destination. You also need to carefully plan what you're going to bring as a filmmaker or a travel vlogger. There are several other factors to consider when prepping and shooting for your travel film. Here are my top 10 tips for travel filmmaking. Number one, what film gear should I bring? One of the most important tips for you is to pack the minimum essentials for travel. I leave my gimbal, my rigged out cameras, big heavy lenses, and large tripods at home. It's just not practical on your own personal vacation to bring these pieces of gear on your trip. I suggest you bring a small to medium photographer style backpack. This will limit what you can bring so that you only include essential gear. The backpack will also keep all your gear safe and easy to access. Try to settle on bringing one prime lens and one zoom lens. You can also pack a small travel tripod. I use the Switch Pod, but there are several great small travel tripods out there. You can include like a waterproof action camera if you're going to do some water shots, or something like the DJI Osmo Pocket. They take up very little space and take great quality footage. Remember to be minimalistic and that you have your smartphone as an additional camera. Obviously, the backpack and all your camera gear should be on the carry-on for your flight. A camera and a few lenses can be worth thousands of dollars, and you don't want to put that in your checked luggage. Which brings us to tip number 2. Travel safe. When using planes, trains, Ubers, taxis, always double-check you have all your gear before exiting your means of transportation. Also, be aware of your surroundings at all times. Don't leave camera gear or any gear unattended, even for a quick shot. Keep all your gear on your person, or make sure a friend or family member is holding your gear for you. I suggest putting air tags or trackers in your backpack and sling bag. I even have a base plate for my Sony camera that accommodates an air tag. Tip number 3, how to carry your gear. If you're going on a nice tourist destination during your trip, instead of that backpack full of gear, just bring a sling bag or a fanny pack with your extra lens, your filters, and some spare batteries. My main camera is around my neck with a neck strap, which can also help with stabilizing your footage. We'll get into that later. Tip number 4, location awareness and etiquette. Try to be discreet when necessary, like at a fancy restaurant or a church. Maybe your smartphone is the best choice for those locations. Some tourist destinations don't even allow photography, such as churches, synagogues, and government buildings. So check for restrictions when visiting specific locations. Tip number 5, accessories. Don't leave home without these important accessories, like your neck strap, filters, spare Allen keys, a multi-tool, cables, batteries, chargers, lens wipes, and extra SD cards. Number 6, shooting tips. We're going to get into a lot of information with these shooting tips. Things like, should you shoot in a log profile? For my Sony camera, I shoot in S-Log3 so I can get the most out of my shots in post, meaning I will have more dynamic range when adjusting exposure and colors while editing. Shooting in a log profile is not necessary and may be for more advanced shooters. You can use the auto settings in your camera with standard picture profiles and get excellent results. What lens should you bring? Why bring the zoom? Well, in one instance, I was on a boat, which is, kind of confined, small quarters, and I had a wide lens for those interior moments, but it was also a whale watching boat. So I had the zoom lens. I popped that on because you can't really get close to the whales and you never know where they're going to pop up at. So having that extra reach was perfect. Another important shooting tip is using ND filters. It's a must when using your camera in daylight or brightly lit environments. It's basically sunglasses for your camera. It enables you to use the best frame rate and ISO for your camera. I use the Nisi Swift Variable ND Kit. The attached filter has 5 stops of ND adjustment, and you can swiftly add another 4 stops by adding the additional ND on top, for a total of 9 stops of ND filter. If you plan on shooting at night or in dark environments like a wine cellar or caves, consider a faster lens like a f1.4 or f1.8 and using the highest base ISO of your camera if possible. A lower f number indicates a larger aperture, allowing more light to enter the camera and making it better for low light situations. This will ensure you have less noise in your footage. Even though you didn't bring a gimbal, you can still get stable footage by pulling out tight on your neck strap and having 2 other points of contact with your hands, moving your body slowly and getting that stable footage. Other great shooting tips to make your video more engaging is capture some time-lapse footage and get some random B-roll. Use your small travel tripod for static, stable shots, and use your underwater action camera if you're going to be in the pool or the ocean. Another cool shooting tip is to use AI tracking. Some of these latest cameras have AI tracking built in. My Sony ZV-1 has tracking and my Osmo Pocket 3 has tracking. Since I'm the videographer in my trip videos, I'm hardly in any shots. But with the AI tracking, I can set my Osmo Pocket 3 down and I can get into the action. Number 7, audio. Audio is equally important as your video. If you're going to be recording some subjects, you might want to bring a nice small shotgun mic. Maybe you have a tour guide and you want to record their speaking. You can use a wireless mic that records internally and also transmits to the camera, so you have clean, pristine audio. On my last family and friends trip to France, at the end of the video, I did a montage where all the guests said thank you to the host who coordinated the whole trip. It was a big fancy restaurant. I just put them in a corner. It was kind of noisy, but with the wireless mics, it came out great.
We just want to thank you for the wonderful trip. This is our 3rd trip with y'all. France 2 years ago, Italy last year.
Tip number 8, bring your laptop. I bring my laptop with me, so at the end of the day, I can sit in my hotel room, I can ingest all the footage which backs it up. I can also review and tag my favorite clips, so when I get back home, I'm ready to edit my masterpiece. Tip number 9, editing. Now that you captured all that amazing footage, you have to tell a story with it. So we're going to edit our footage. Did you use a log profile? You need to convert that log. You got to do some color grading. You may want to stabilize some of that footage since you didn't have a gimbal with you. You can do all that in the editing process. When editing your video, make it cinematic with titles, transitions, and effects, and try to tell a story. When I create my travel films, I like to make a cool intro to get the audience engaged. Tip number 10, music. I think this is one of the most important things in creating a video. You want to have some energy and some drama, and you can do that with music. Me coming from a music producer background, I spend a lot of time on finding just the perfect music for my film. I'm going to leave a link of my video in the description. It's a great reference to some of the tips on my list. Also, in my upcoming videos, I will be going more in depth on each of these travel filmmaker tips. Let me know in the comments what information you would like to know more about, or what tips were most helpful to you. This will help me in deciding what tips to expand upon in the upcoming videos. I will also leave descriptions and links to all the gear I recommend and use for my travel filmmaking and video projects. I hope you like my top 10 travel filmmaker tips. If you want to see more videos like these, like and subscribe to the channel, and also leave a comment about what you're interested in, and I'll make a video about it. Peace.